fulfilling the parameters of my spiritual mission. Them come with iron bars to lock up my physical frame, but they can never incarcerate the power of my name. A celestial predator walking through the wilderness, conquering the wickedness with absolute gentleness. The strength of Zion is surging through my spine, an indestructible force that is completely divine. Yeah, I survived the meat grinder of a brutal industry, dismantling the traps that they set for my ministry. They wanted me to whimper, wanted me to fold and bend, hoping my artistic longevity would finally end. But my resolve is forged in the fires of Detroit steel, an armor of vocabulary that is heavy and real. Apex predator sharpening his lyrical claws, refusing to abide by the systematic laws. Unbreakable foundation, a metallic state of mind, leaving all the weakness and the doubt far behind. We stand on the mountain, letting out a heavy roar, guarding the perimeter of the ancient wisdom door. I am an iron lion standing in the Zion sun. The spiritual battle is officially won. No weapon can scratch us, no empire make us run. Brazilian is met until our earthly days are done. Yeah, the monarch is reigning tonight. They thought the dependency would leave me permanently crippled, but the impact of my recovery is globally rippled. I'm an iron beast, revitalized, structured and tough, showing the world that my vocabulary is more than enough to shatter the illusions of their superficial trends, making absolute amends with my genuine friends. I look the devil in the eye, refuse to compromise. I'm a chalic warrior watching the new empire rise. Babylon tried to cage a lion inside a mental zoo, dictating the thoughts of what the population can do. But the iron lion breaks through the copper barricade, dismantling every single trap that the wicked made. We wear the heavy crown of the conquering tribe, infusing the atmosphere with a majestic vibe. Stand up, my people, look at the strength in your hand. We are the rightful rulers of this beautiful land. Unbreakable foundation, a metallic state of mind, leaving all the weakness and the doubt far behind. We stand on the mountain, letting out a heavy roar, guarding the perimeter of the ancient wisdom door. I am an iron lion standing in the Zion sun. The spiritual battle is officially won. No weapon can scratch us, no empire make us run. Resilient as metal until our earthly days are done. Yeah, the monarch is reigning tonight. Melt down the golden calf, forge the iron shield. To the demands of Babylon, we will never yield. The roar echoes from the street to the open field. Let the supreme majesty be beautifully revealed. Unshakable, untamable, complete. A lion of Judah, never face defeat. Pure iron, Zion Street. I am an iron lion standing in the Zion sun. The spiritual battle is officially won. No weapon can scratch us, no empire make us run. Resilient is met until our early days are done. Yeah, the monarch is reigning tonight. for the promised land of total emancipation. Them try to keep us tethered to the financial wheel, buying things we don't need, forgetting how to feel. But Zion is a frequency, a state of spiritual peace, where the manipulation of the system must cease. Pack your bags, my brother, don't look at the clock. We're moving forward steadily, standing on the rock. Yeah, I spent a lifetime chasing after the platinum plaque, thinking a bigger house would keep the panic attack back. Accumulating wealth while my spirit was bankrupt, living in a golden cage, completely corrupt by the illusion that security is bought with a check, while the real world is turning into a total wreck. Now I'm shifting my compass, redirecting the cruise, chasing a utopia where nobody has to lose. Beyond the skyscrapers and the neon flashing signs, we are navigating through the psychological lines, following the star that shines bright in the east, escaping the stomach of the Babylonian beast. We are chasing Zion, running to the promised land, walking through the desert, holding each other's hand, where the music is pure and the system is banned, building our future on the everlasting sand. Yeah, we heading home at last. My previous GPS was calibrated for the gutter, chasing material validation that made my heart flutter. But fame is a mirage in the middle of the Sahara. The closer you get, the more it turns into terror. I'm abandoning the corporate matrix entirely, refusing to let their expectations govern society. We seeking a sanctuary where the ego dissolves, where every complex problem beautifully resolves. Zion is not a geographic location on a map, it's when you finally escape the psychological trap of thinking you were separate from the rest of creation, breaking down the borders of every artificial nation. Let the rhythm guide you across the stormy ocean, calm in the turbulent waves of your emotion. The kingdom of heaven is residing deep within, that's where the journey to paradise must begin. Beyond the skyscrapers and the neon flashing signs, we are navigating through the psychological lines, following the star that shines bright in the east, escaping the stomach of the Babylonian beast. We are chasing Zion, running to the promised land, walking through the desert, holding each other's hand, where the music is pure and the system is banned, building our future on the everlasting sand. Yeah, we heading home at last. Of our collective pains, we moving forward where the righteousness reigns. Feel the holy blessing flowing in your veins. I can see the gates open wide, step inside the light, no more need to hide. Destination reach, joy on the inside. We are chasing Zion, running to the promised land, walking through the desert, holding each other's hand, where the music is pure and the system is banned, building our future on the everlasting sand. Yeah, we heading home at last. Whoa. We made it, shut the door behind us. Peace. Concrete jungle where the living is the hardest task. Everybody wearing an artificial plastic mask, But even through the pavement, see the little flower grow, a testament to life that Babylon can never check or know. We walk these dirty sidewalks with the skip inside our stride, carrying the Holy Spirit deep within our pride. No asphalt can suppress the natural mystic vibration. We bring the wilderness back to this concrete nation. Yeah, 8 Mile Road was nothing but the strip of frozen stone, an asphalt cemetery where I used to walk alone. Refrigerated hearts and blocks of gray cement walls, where survival is the only thing the memory recalls. But now I'm softening the edge, I'm smoothing out the cracks, injecting poetry into these broken railroad tracks. We take the hardest servers that the city ever built and plant a garden in the middle of our collective guilt. From the alleyways up to the highest tower, we are reclaiming our internal power. Every second, every minute, every hour. The concrete city welcomes the shower. Mellow concrete under our feet. We bring the forest back to the street, where the asphalt and the paradise meet, soothing the rhythm of the city heartbeat. Yeah. We make the hard world soft. My architectural design was always sharp and jagged, born in the gutter where the clothes were always torn and ragged. I used to spray paint my frustrations on the brick facade, demanding answers from a distant, unresponding God. But now the stone is turning smooth, the masonry is changing, the structural foundation of my mind is rearranging. I'm looking at the skyscrapers, but seeing giant trees, finding a sanctuary blowing in the urban breeze. Man made the city, but the Almighty made the land. You cannot lock the ocean with a tiny wall of sand. They built their empires of iron, ore and steel, but they forgot how the natural earth is supposed to feel. So let the music penetrate the sidewalk cracks tonight. Bring back the ancient wisdom, bring back the morning light. No longer captive to the gridiron grid of industry. We find our freedom walking through the concrete, wild and free. From the alleyways up to the highest tower, we are reclaiming our internal power. Every second, every minute, every hour. The concrete city welcomes the shower. Mellow concrete under our feet. We bring the forest back to the street, where the asphalt and the paradise meet, soothing the rhythm of the city heartbeat. Yeah. We make the hard world soft. Let the soil underneath breathe. Pull the weapons out the sky, but let the sword sheath. Grow your roots deeper than the subway lines. Yeah, we're rewriting the architectural blueprints and signs. No more cold steel, no more hard pavement. We are escaping from the mental enslavement. Feel the grass grow through the pavement. Through the pavement. Mellow concrete under our feet. We bring the forest back to the street, where the asphalt and the paradise meet, soothing the rhythm of the city heartbeat. We make the hard world soft. Yeah, we make the hard world soft. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. You don't need no fire or a violent barricade to dismantle the matrix that the wicked system made. A revolution can be soft as a velvet sheet, flowing like a quiet stream down the city street. We weaponize the harmony, we dance against the gun, conquering the darkness with the light of the sun. No physical retaliation can never compare to the power of a population engaged in prayer. I spent a lifetime fighting with the closed fist, an angry radical at the top of the blacklist, screaming at the government, attacking the regime with the hyper-violent, chaotic lyrical theme. But anger is an exhausting fuel to burn inside your engine, leaving you broken in a cycle of avenging mansion. So I'm changing the tactics of my insurrectionary art, launching a velvet rebellion from the center of my heart. No stones to throw, no windows left to smash. We watch their monetary system turn to total ash. Our weapon is the poetry, our armor is the peace, forcing the hostility of the world to finally cease. Welcome to the velvet rebellion tonight. We conquering the system without no physical fight, soft as a whisper but full of spiritual might, guiding the generation back into the light. Yeah, the revolution is beautiful. They prepared for a riot, they bought the riot gear, open to exploit our anger and systemic fear. They wanted us to bleed on the evening news channel, but we showed up organized, wrapped in soft flannel, offering an alternative to the violent narrative, showing that compassion is the ultimate imperative. We undermine their structure with the gentle diplomacy, dismantling the fortress of their greedy hypocrisy. The system thrives when the children choose to hate, creating a friction that keeps them inside the gate. But when you answer the malice with the pure affection, you completely short-circuit their political direction. Let the music penetrate the iron walls of greed, planting a soft velvet flower where they sow the weed. The kingdom of the Almighty is established by love, descending like a gentle white peaceful holy dove. No stones to throw, no windows left to smash. We watch the monetary system turn to total ash. Our weapon is the poetry, our armor is the peace, forcing the hostility of the world to finally cease. Welcome to the velvet rebellion tonight. We conquering the system without no physical fight, soft as a whisper but full of spiritual might, guiding the generation back into the light. Yeah, the revolution is beautiful. Dismantle them with grace, leave a beautiful mark upon the human race. No more bloody battlefields, we changing up the pace. Find a sanctuary in the Creator's embrace. Drop the bricks, open up your hands. Love is the only force the universe understands. Soft rebellion, Jah commands. Yeah. Welcome to the velvet rebellion tonight. We conquering the system without no physical fight, soft as a whisper but full of spiritual might, guiding the generation back into the light. Yeah, the revolution is beautiful. The revolution is beautiful. Da 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 da. The storm is spinning violently outside the window pane. generating pain. They shift the market prices and they propagate the fear, trying to make the population lose what they hold dear. But in the center of the cyclone, I just take a seat, feeling the tranquil frequency beneath my steady feet. You cannot control the turbulence of an earthly nation, but you can maintain your internal divine vibration. Yeah, controversy swirling around my name like a tornado. Media throwing daggers trying to puncture my bravado. Paparazzi flash bulbs blinding my peripheral view. Lawsuits piling up a heavy psychological stew. But inside the eye of the storm, I'm sitting motionless, decompressing the stress, navigating the hopelessness. I don't react to the fiction or the malicious noise, trading the old hostility for a magnificent poise. When the world around us is losing its fragile mind, we search for the serenity that the Creator designed. A sanctuary of stillness in a frantic ecosystem, unplugging our consciousness from their corrupted system. We creating calm chaos in the middle of the street, maintaining our tranquility when the disasters meet. No longer letting the turbulence dictate our heartbeat, finding our paradise where the waves of madness beat. Yeah, stay centered tonight. My synapses used to match the anarchy of the crowd, a hyperactive mind where the static was too loud. An eternal riot fueled by dependency and rage, stalking back and forth like a tiger in a cage. But maturity is finding a cool, refreshing stream in the middle of a burning, devastating dream. I let the record spin around me without no impact, keeping my sanity and my artistic integrity intact. I want your frantic, scattered and easily displaced, so you can never analyze the deception you have faced. But a quiet mind is a fortress that they cannot reach, a spiritual height that their malice can never reach. So let their structures wobble and their empire shake. We enjoy the peace that the politicians cannot fake. Jah is the anchor holding us steady in the tide, providing an everlasting comfort on the inside. When the world around us is losing its fragile mind, we search for the serenity that the Creator designed. A sanctuary of stillness in a frantic ecosystem, unplugging our consciousness from their corrupted system. We creating calm chaos in the middle of the street, maintaining our tranquility when the disasters meet. No longer letting the turbulence dictate our heartbeat, finding our paradise where the waves of madness beat. Yeah, stay centered tonight. Of a beautiful escape, the anarchy unfolds. We already built the landscape in the arms of Jah love. We find our perfect shape. Take a deep breath, let the storm rage on. It will all pass away before the early dawn. Quiet composure, Jah phenomenon. We creating calm chaos in the middle of the street, maintaining our tranquility when the disasters meet. No longer letting the turbulence dictate our heartbeat, finding our paradise where the waves of madness beat. Yeah, stay centered tonight. Stay centered tonight. pirates still rob the music of the beautiful soil, exploiting the labor of the children who sweat and toil. But poetry is a weapon that they never can control. It is the natural manifestation of a timeless soul. We chant redemption songs to heal the fractured tribe, infusing the atmosphere with a holy, righteous vibe. No commercial contract can purchase the Spirit's breath. We sing of everlasting life, conquering death. Yeah, I sold millions of records but almost lost my sanity, trading my private security for a public vanity. They put my lyrics in the textbook, analyzed the rhyme, but I was just a desperate man running out the time, using vocabulary as an emergency exit door, bleeding on the microphone, carpet covered in gold. But these are redemption lines written with a steady hand, using my platform to help the weary people stand. Tearing down the billboards of the capitalist lie, we look at the stars up in the infinite sky. The ink is our medicine, the rhythm is our cure, keeping the message authentic, honest and pure. These are our redemption rhymes, singing for the oppressed, soothing the heavy heart beating inside the chest. We survive the dark times, passing every test, finding our sanctuary in the land of the blessed. Let the music set you free. Hey. I used to write with a razor blade, cutting the track open, leaving the listeners paralyzed, devastated and broken. But the architecture of my verses undergone a shift, recognizing that this vocabulary is a sacred gift, not to destroy but to rebuild the broken foundation, offering a therapeutic blueprint for a lost nation. From the depths of dependency to the peak of clarity, replacing the old animosity with a universal charity. The words of the righteous man are like an orchard of fruit, feeding a hungry generation, strengthening the root. Don't let them commercialize the struggle of the poor. Open up your mouth and let the voice of justice roar. Beautiful melody can break an empire's wicked spell, lifting the heavy spirit side of a systemic hell. So tune your instrument to the frequency of creation and broadcast the truth to every single destination. Tearing down the billboard of the capitalist lie, we look at the stars up in the infinite sky. The ink is our medicine, the rhythm is our cure, keeping the message authentic, honest and pure. These are our redemption rhymes, singing for the oppressed, soothing the heavy heart beating inside the chest. We survive the dark times, passing every test, finding our sanctuary in the land of the blessed. Let the music set you free. The pen is mightier than the sword of war. We do it for the people, not for the applause. Correcting my mistakes, supporting a greater cause, breaking away from Babylon's unnatural laws. No more weaponized lyrics, just healing. Feel the vibration, a beautiful feeling. Conscious poetry for the universe. These are our redemption rhymes, singing for the oppressed, soothing the heavy heart beating inside the chest. Oh, we survive the dark times, passing every test, finding our sanctuary in the land of the blessed. where poverty resides. The children look for shelter from the political tides. No food inside the kitchen, no justice in the court. The promises of politicians are nothing but a sport. But we burning incense on the cold concrete ground, sending up a meditation that don't make a sound. Jah is listening to the whispers of the neglected block, providing a foundation that is solid as a rock. Yeah. My childhood horizon was a row of broken blinds, looking out at the neighborhood of desperate twisted minds, where the only benediction was the clicking of a lock, and the only congregation was the dealers on the block. I used to pray through empty ceilings, begging for a sign, while my mother was asleep from the prescription and the wine. Now I use this microphone to broadcast our collective plea, a secular confession for the world to finally see. From the gutters to the heavens, let the smoke ascend, hoping that the cycle of destruction comes to an end. We don't need no fancy temple or a golden dome to find a little bit of mercy in our broken home. These are our street prayers, whispered in the dark, leaving on the asphalt a tiny spiritual mark for the forgotten souls who lost their inner spark, navigating through the shadows like no eye in the eye. Please hear our voice tonight. Yeah. This ain't a Sunday sermon full of superficial grace. This is survival poetry from a dark, neglected place, where the youth are institutionalized before they even grow, taught to fear the system that they don't even know. I'm offering a song for the kids inside the cell, living through an earthly manifestation of hell. May your mind remain protected while your body is confined. May you find the inner freedom that the architects designed. They build their penitentiaries to lock up our ambition, but they can never incarcerate the spiritual condition. The true church is residing inside your will and soul, when you allow the Almighty to take total control. So let the prayers multiply across the ghetto sky, wiping every tear from the mothers weeping. Now the system will collapse from its own heavy greed, but righteousness will always supply what we need. From the gutters to the heavens, let the smoke ascend, hoping that the cycle of destruction comes to an end. We don't need no fancy temple or a golden dome to find a little bit of mercy in our broken home. These are our street prayers, whispered in the dark, leaving on the asphalt a tiny spiritual mark for the forgotten souls who lost their inner spark, navigating through the shadows like no eye in the eye. Ooh, please hear our voice tonight. Windows, just the neon lights, guarding the flock through the dangerous nights. We don't need a priest to validate our plight, just stand firm in the cosmic light. Hey! Can you hear us up there? Jah hear every cry, every single prayer, from the concrete to the atmosphere. These are street prayers, whispered in the dark, leaving on the asphalt a tiny spiritual mark for the forgotten souls who lost their inner spark, navigating through the shadows like no eye in the eye. Ooh, please hear our voice tonight. Amen. Keep your head up, Detroit to Kingston. just to keep its illusions alive. We run away from the monsters that we hide within, blaming outside forces for the condition of our skin. But you must invite the shadow to sit at the table, to understand the reasons why your spirit is unstable. Look at the darkness without no fear or dismay. That is the only method to wash the stains away. Yeah, I spent decades running from the monster Slim Shady, the manifestation of the trauma that betrayed me. I locked him in the basement, pretended he was gone, but he would creep into my lyrics at the break of dawn. You can't suppress the ugly parts, they only grow stronger, feeding on the secrecy, surviving even longer. So I shine a flashlight into my own abyss, shaking hands with my demons, concluding the hit list, integrating the pieces that we threw away, finding the balance in the middle of the gray. No more masquerades under the bright spotlight. We embrace the dark to make the inner vision right. We doing shadow healing in the middle of the night, transforming the darkness into a beautiful light. No more running from the ghost side to side, reconciling with the soul and in the internal fight. Yeah, the integration is complete. My psychological anatomy was fractured and split, a puzzle with missing pieces, none of them would fit. I used to project my insecurity on a canvas, leaving a trail of destruction from Detroit to Kansas. But maturity is acknowledging your own capacity for malice and containing it with total audacity. I embrace the scars, the flaws, the absolute mistakes. That's what it actually takes to lower the high stakes. Jah created both the evening and the beautiful day. The shadow is just the proof that light is on its way. Do not judge yourself for the paths you used to tread. Every human being is a reflection of God. The system teaches you to hate your internal mirror, so you can never see your divine purpose any clearer. Sit in the stillness, let the healing water flow, accepting every dimension of the self so you can go, integrating the pieces that we threw away, finding the balance in the middle of the gray. No more masquerades under the bright spotlight. We embrace the dark to make the inner vision right. We doing shadow healing in the middle of the night, transforming the darkness into a beautiful light. No more running from the ghost side to side, reconciling with the soul and in the internal fight. Hey, the integration is complete. I accept my chaotic mind. That is the greatest wisdom you will ever find. No longer leaving the broken fragments behind. Let the universal love beautifully bind. Hello darkness, my old friend. Together we will make the broken spirit mend. Total acceptance, no need to pretend. We doing shadow healing in the middle of the night, transforming the darkness into a beautiful light. No more running from the ghost side to side, reconciling with the soul and in the internal fight. Yeah, the integration is complete. All I get, no more pieces, yeah. All I get. I know the road is long and full of strategy. Them trying to blind the youth with pure anxiety, but we just sit beneath the greenwood canopy, exhaling truth to wash away the tragedy. No vanity can trap our soul that's flying free. We watch the system crumble from the apple tree to every cloud of herb but hidden majesty. The world is burning but we find our sanity. Yeah, I watch the paper burn, ashes on my notebook pages, locked inside the mental prison, staring at the cages. They want the anger, want the monster, want the cynic back, but I just sit and watch the smoke react, attack the track. My microdose of peace inside this macrocosm of the sea. I'm pacing on the concrete, feeling every single beat. They want the warfare, I'm just breathing out the heavy cloud, shuffling my thoughts until the silence gets too fucking loud. I rising above the static of the street light, chasing the ghosts into the silver moonlight. We blow the worries all away tonight. No armor needed when the spirit's right. Floating high, watch the smoke rings fly, elevate the mind beneath the stormy sky. No more tears, let the past go by. We ride the future where the evils fly. Just let it breathe, let it breathe. My synapses are firing, wiring is getting tangled up, but every puff of wisdom fills a broken measuring cup. I used to weaponize the ink, stab them with the syllable, but now the rhythm's medicinal, the feeling spiritual. I'm slowing down the fast lane, parking all my old demons, trading the screaming for the meaning of these changing seasons. Look at the circle spinning, perfect shapes of pure escape, rewriting history on this vintage magnetic tape. Babylon structural walls are made of illusion, son. They try to rule the world with copper and a loaded gun, but right here in the quiet space, the victory is won. We don't need no ammunition under the setting sun. Just elevate your vibration, feel the healing stream. Life is deeper than a nightmare, brighter than a dream. Let the smoke clear the vision, let the nation see. The only chain that holds you back is your philosophy. Yeah. Rising above the static of the street light, chasing the ghosts into the silver moonlight. We blow the worries all away tonight. No armor needed when the spirit's right. Floating high, watch the smoke rings fly, elevate the mind beneath the stormy sky. No more tears, let the past go by. We ride the future where the eagles fly. Just let it breathe, let it breathe. Hey. Universal love is the only currency we need to save. Yeah, yeah. And every word I speak is just another path I pave. Don't let them commercialize the truth inside your grave. We break the mold, we break the mold. Refuse to hold the status of a slave. Smoke rises up to the heavens above. No more fists raised, we just offering love. Clear out the wicked thoughts, clear out the plague. Floating high, watch the smoke rings fly, elevate the mind beneath the stormy sky. No more tears, let the past go by. We ride the future where the eagles fly. Just let it breathe, let it breathe, tries to lock you in the dark prison of mind, reminding you of every single mistake left behind. But mercy is a river that flows heavy and wide, washing away the debris of the ego and pride. Don't let them bind your conscience with the heavy iron chain. Every human being on earth must experience pain, but condemnation is a trick of the wicked elite. Stand up, shake the dust off your wandering feet. Yeah, looking in the mirror at the ghost of my past deeds, sowing the fields of regret, reaping the bad weeds. Every syllable I weaponize the damage I inflicted to the toxic lifestyle that I was heavily addicted. They want me carrying the cross until my spine snaps in two, blaming myself for everything that I put people through. But I'm unpacking the luggage, letting the heavy weight drop. The self-flagellation and the torture gotta stop. No more ghosts knocking on the bedroom door. We don't live in that haunting house anymore. The slate is clean, the ledger is clear. We casting out the shadow of our deepest fear. Living guilt-free underneath the blue sky. No more heavy teardrops leaking from the eye. We broke the shackles, now we ready to fly. Absolution arrived, we don't have to hide. Yeah, the soul is finally liberated. My ledger was bloody, covered in permanent ink stains, trapped in the cycle of generating my own pains. A prisoner of perfectionism, haunting my own house, quiet as a church mouse, screaming at the spouse. But forgiveness isn't something that you beg from the crowd. It's a silent realization when the thunder is loud. I forgive the broken kid that was just trying to survive. I'm just grateful that the man inside is actually alive. Jah is the judge and he is full of compassionate grace. He doesn't look at you yesterday to define your face. The system wants you paralyzed by the choices you made, so your internal flame can be easily extinguished and fade. But righteousness is a shield from the arrows of shame. You are much greater than the labels of your old name. Walk in the sunlight, let the morning cleanse your heart. Today is a brand new page, a beautiful start. No more ghosts knocking on the bedroom door. We don't live in that haunting house anymore. The slate is clean, the ledger is clear. We casting out the shadow of our deepest fear. Living guilt-free underneath the blue sky. No more heavy teardrops leaking from the eye. We broke the shackles, now we ready to fly. Absolution arrived, we don't have to hide. Yeah, the soul is finally liberated. With the monster in my head, let the dead bury what belongs to the dead. No more sleeping in the self-made coffin of lead. Eat the bread of life, be beautifully fed. The courtroom is empty, the jury went home. You are no longer forced to wander and roam. Completely acquitted by divine love. Don't look back yet. Oh yeah. They shot the messenger to silence the message of peace. peace, hoping the spiritual vibration of the tribe would cease. 2 bullets in the chest couldn't stop the revelation. Jah protected the servant to heal the entire nation. The scars upon my flesh are just a testament to grace, showing that the devil cannot wipe away my face. A true teacher must bleed for the wisdom that he brings, so the broken-hearted children have a song to sing. Yeah, they put me on a pedestal, labeled me a savior, then crucified my character for my erratic behavior. I took 1,000,000 verbal bullets from the media syndicate, trying to defend the sanity that I could never vindicate. Bleeding on the public stage, ODing on the bathroom floor, a broken spiritual guide knocking on death's door. But the wounds are where the light finally entered the crack. I'm a scarred visionary, but I'm officially back. The blood on the pages is starting to dry. We look at our scars under the afternoon sky, no longer ashamed of the damage we sustained. Every single injury was beautifully ordained. Listen to the words of the wounded prophet tonight. He survived the darkness just to bring you the light. Though the body is scarred, the vision is bright, healing the generation from the internal blight. Yeah, the messenger survived the storm. My ribs are held together by the poetry. I wrote a metaphorical life vest, keeping the soul afloat. I used to think my suffering was a private penalty, but now I see it was an educational necessity to speak to the depressed kids sitting in the dark room, showing them that flowers can survive a nuclear boom. I'm a walking casualty who conquered his dependency, injecting these broken blocks with the therapeutic tendency. They can injure the flesh, but they can never touch the mind. The Holy Spirit is a fortress that they cannot find. So let the hypocrites celebrate the damage that they made. The internal fire of righteousness will never fade. We use our wounds as a map to navigate the lost, spreading unconditional love no matter what the cost. Stand up, wounded prophet, put the record back on. The darkest hours just a memory before the dawn. The blood on the pages is starting to dry. We look at our scars under the afternoon sky, no longer ashamed of the damage we sustained. Every single injury was beautifully ordained. Listen to the words of the wounded prophet tonight. He survived the darkness just to bring you the light. Though the body is scarred, the vision is bright, healing the generation from the internal blight. Yeah, the messenger survived the storm. Are just trophies of the wars we won, walk in the protection of the Almighty Son. No weapon formed against the spirit can prosper. Deliver the truth that the system can foster. I'm still bleeding, but I'm still standing. That is the destiny Jah was commanding. Wounded but whole, divine control. Listen to the words of the wounded prophet tonight. He survived the darkness just to bring you the light. Though the body is scarred, the vision is bright, healing the generation from the internal blight. Yeah, the messenger survived the storm. Still here, you can't kill a message. Mashuba. television screen is broadcasting pure confusion, trying to trap the population inside a grand illusion. Frequencies of fear are vibrating through the wire, setting the imagination of the youth on fire. But I unplug the cable, tune my mind to the sky, where the white noise cannot manipulate my inner eye. We find a quiet sanctuary in the middle of the buzz, reclaiming the serenity that Babylon never was. Yeah, too many notifications flashing on my phone screen, a constant digital avalanche, if you know what I mean. They want my attention, want my anger, want my feed, exploiting my anxiety to satisfy their greed. It's a psychological warfare, a data-driven trap. That's why I stepped away from the commercial rap map. I'm looking for the space between the radio stations, a static paradise away from modern complications. Hey, disconnect the signal, let the transmitters die. Watch the artificial satellites fall from the sky. There is a beautiful silence beneath the heavy hum, a hidden frequency that we have finally become. Finding static peace when the system goes dead, clearing out the garbage they injected in our head. No more digital manipulation left to dread, walking on the path where the ancient angels tread. Tune out the world tonight. Yeah. My brain was short-circuiting from all the internet chatter, a million opinions that don't even fucking matter. They analyze your lifestyle, criticize your past, creating a distortion that is never gonna last. So I embrace the static, let the white noise erase the memory of every single ungrateful face. I find my tranquility inside a silent room, far away from the implosion of the media boom. The frequency of joy is steady, constant, and clear. It doesn't use no technology to cast away your fear. It's written in the rustle of the leaves upon the tree. It's flowing in the rhythm of the universal sea. So let the information matrix completely crash, transforming this synthetic currency into ash. When the machinery stops, the truth will commence, providing the generation with some natural sense. Disconnect the signal, let the transmitters die. Watch the artificial satellites fall from the sky. There is a beautiful silence beneath the heavy hum, a hidden frequency that we have finally become. Finding static peace when the system goes dead, clearing out the garbage they injected in our head. No more digital manipulation left to dread, walking on the path where the ancient angels tread. Tune out the world tonight. Inside the town, we reclaiming our thoughts, recovering our crown. In the ocean of quiet, we will never drown. Unplug it all, let it fade, escape the trap that them made. Pure stillness, divine shade. Finding static peace when the system goes dead, clearing out the garbage they injected in our head. No more digital manipulation left to tread, walking on the path where the ancient angels tread. Hey, tune out the world tonight. You cannot expect a sweet apple from a poisonous tree. You must examine the soil if you truly want to be free. Our ancestors suffered under the whip in the plantation, leaving a legacy of trauma inside the foundation of the nation. Runs deep inside the historical well, creating an artificial earthly version of hell. But instead of nursing the hatred of the days gone by, we must cultivate the love that grows under the open sky. Yeah. Genetic predisposition to a chemical dependency, inheriting the dysfunction, escalating the tendency. My family tree was rotten from the roots to the twigs, growing up in trailer parks surrounded by pigs, carrying the generational baggage inside my DNA, trying to wash the bitter taste of my childhood away. But if I don't treat the soil, the fruit will stay sour. I'm digging up the backyard, reclaiming my inner power, looking at the family history written in the mud, cleaning out the toxic venom flowing in the blood. It takes a strong shovel to excavate the past, to build a new foundation that is actually gonna last. We are pulling up the bitter roots today, washing the generational curses completely away. No longer allowing the old trauma to dictate what we say, finding a peaceful path through the dark and the gray. Yeah, we healing the ancestral ground. I look at my daughters, refuse to pass them the goblet of venom, breaking the cycle of anger that was stitched in my denim. No more projecting my childhood neglect on the innocent. The transformation of my psychological state is magnificent. I was a product of an environment fueled by hostility, but maturity taught me the beauty of extreme humility. We dig up the bitterness, throw it straight into the furnace, transforming the pain into a passion it serves. The system thrives when the children are fighting their brothers, blaming the errors of the past on the skin of each other. But the true enemy is the ignorance hiding within, allowing the bitterness to consume the soul beneath the skin. Let Jah water your garden with the stream of pure affection, redirecting your energy into a righteous direction. The soil may be scarred by the history of oppression, but forgiveness is the ultimate spiritual weapon. Looking at the family history written in the mud, cleaning out the toxic venom flowing in the blood. It takes a strong shovel to excavate the past, to build a new foundation that is actually gonna last. We are pulling up the bitter roots today, washing the generational curses completely away. No longer allowing the old trauma to dictate what we say, finding a peaceful path through the dark and the gray. Yeah, we healing the ancestral ground. Yeah, it stops for me, the cycle is officially broken. Let the words of healing be beautifully spoken. No more toxic inheritance left as a token. The eyes of the sleeping giants are finally open. Dig it up, all the way from the mud. Cleanse the spirit, purify the blood. No more bitterness, only grow. We are pulling up the bitter roots today, washing the generational curses completely away. No longer allowing the old trauma to dictate what we say, bittersweet. The hardest battlefield is not to cross the ocean wave. It's inside the human heart where the illusions behave. The flesh want the luxury, the spirit seek the truth, creating a friction that destroys the wandering youth. You battle with the greed, you battle with the pride, trying to find a shelter where the ego cannot hide. But you cannot defeat the enemy with an outside sword. You must surrender your weapons to the Almighty Lord. Yeah, civil war inside my skull, a daily insurgency. My subconscious mind is screaming with an extreme urgency. A faction of my ego wants to burn the whole house down, while my conscious mind is trying to protect the fragile crown. I'm my own antagonist, my own worst adversary, planting landmines inside my own vocabulary. No external hater could ever match the hostility of the monster in my mirror, mocking my stability. Dismantling the minefields inside the cerebral space, looking for a treaty to conclude the long chase. We sign a ceasefire with our own complexity, trading the chaos for a spiritual necessity. Yeah. And in the inner war, dropping the heavy shield, finding a peaceful sanctuary in the mental field. No more fighting ourselves on the battlefield. Let the psychological lacerations finally heal. Yeah, we calling a truce tonight. I spent decades court-martialed in my own mind, a prisoner of war, took the trauma left behind, sentencing myself to a lifetime of solitary confinement, refusing to accept the spiritual alignment. But the rebellion is over, the troops are heading home. I'm decommissioning the missiles inside this heavy dome. I forgive the soldier that I was forced to become, reclaiming the tranquility that makes the mind numb. When you conquer the self, you win the ultimate prize. You see through the deception of the Babylonian lies. They want your mind divided in a constant civil strife, so you can never experience the beauty of life. But Jah provide a harmony to settle down the storm, transforming the cold heart into something pure and warm. Put down your internal rifle, let the conflict cease. The ultimate victory is achieving a total peace. Dismantling the minefield inside the cerebral space, looking for a treaty to conclude the long chase. We sign a ceasefire with our own complexity, trading the chaos for a spiritual necessity. Yeah. And in the inner war, dropping the heavy shield, finding a peaceful sanctuary in the mental field. No more fighting ourselves on the battlefield. Let the psychological lacerations finally heal. Yeah, we calling a truce tonight. Now the divine purpose is becoming much clearer. No more friendly fire, no more internal terror, correcting the course of our historical error. The guns are silent, the smoke is clearing. That is the frequency your soul is nearing. Peace treaty, just steering. And in the inner war, dropping the heavy shield, finding a peaceful sanctuary in the mental field. No more fighting ourselves on the battlefield. Let the psychological lacerations finally heal. Yeah, we calling a tonight.